Hello and welcome to Midtone Reviews. Today I'm going to be reviewing the new Khalid album, Free Spirit. Luckily with this album I can get right in there and be one of the very few people because Anthony Fantano done this. But is Anthony Fantano right with what he done, or lack of what he done? Yes, I will say that, but I'll get into it later. So as many of you probably know, Khalid does sort of this blend of R&B and pop and a little bit of hip-hop here and there. And he's definitely been making a lot of charts, and that with the song Talk. He's definitely been sort of getting a lot of attention and that. And especially at a young age as well, because his last album he was only 19 when he released it. And now he's a little bit older, he's 21, but he's still pretty young. And yeah, it's sort of just like the pressures and stuff like that. One of the main things that really stands out from the album is his voice. It seems like a combination of Sam Smith and Post Malone. And it sounds alright. He can actually sing, but one of the annoying things is they put this sort of weird auto-tune in. Especially with songs such as Bad Luck and Bluffin' and stuff like that. They put in this weird auto-tune thing where you can actually hit their notes, but it just sounds really weird. Sort of like an overlay on the top. And it does put you off some of the tracks, but some of the other tracks where it isn't as effective, you can enjoy his voice a bit more and actually be able to hear him actually sort of properly singing. Many sort of the background tracks are beats, are drums and some of the keyboards and pianos. It does sound very cliche and very sort of like, I'm going to try and get onto the charts, which isn't too bad, but when there's 17 songs that do the exact same thing, you can't really tell some tracks apart, where some artists, even like Post Malone or even Sam Smith, who I don't really like, they add in some different sort of instrumentals to actually sort of try and keep the tracks apart and try and sort of like make them a bit more distinct. I don't think Khalid was actually able to do that in this album, like he did with his previous album. Many of the songs are trying to sort of sound quite personal and quite sort of like relatable as well, especially with Talk and 21. Talk is sort of definitely getting on the charts at the moment, but it just sounds like any other sort of track on the charts. And same with 21, I thought it would be a bit more like sort of deeper than it actually is, but it's a bit shallow, same with a lot of the other tracks. But unfortunately, yeah, it just doesn't really go into that much detail on that, and it just sounds like any of the other songs on the album. One of the other things is a lot of the songs do sound quite similar, so in some ways it does give it more of a flow. I know there's Intro, the song that's actually called Intro. It sort of like introduces you with like the piano and all of that sort of stuff and gets you in, which is quite good. So I quite like that track. It's probably one of the stronger tracks. But the rest of them do flow the same and definitely sort of don't really extremely link up together, apart from like sounding very similar. They don't have any link ups between the two or sort of any sort of real flow, because sort of the end tracks such as Let Me Just Get Up, sort of like Heaven and Saturday Nights, they just sound like any of the other ones. They don't calm it down really at all. And it just sounds like, yeah, it's just a bit unfinished, even though there's 17 songs on it. Overall, this album plays it pretty safe. There's nothing too good about it, but there's nothing terrible about it either. And overall, I'm going to give it a 5. But I think that it just sounds very similar to this album, and there's sort of a bit of an issue with some of sort of the mainstream artists that are going onto the charts, or just throwing loads of the same songs at the wall and just see what sticks in that. And I think that's what this album really does. It just sees, it's though it's going to have a lot of failures, but it's going to also have a lot of commercially successful stuff like Talk. But yeah, it's just quite a boring, middle-of-the-road album, so I do sort of agree with Anthony Fantano there. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in 2 days' time.